Hello, today we are coming to talk about QBasic. That is a beginner friendly programming language. Thank you for having time to be with me. Today we are coming to talk about QBasic. That is a language, a new, not that new. It has gone through the mill. It is there. It has been there for a while. It is a beginner friendly. That is, it's a beginner level programming language for new people, early grade, senior high school students who wants to know or get a deeper meaning into programming as a foundation to other languages like Python, JavaScript, and others. So once gotten a good understanding of QBasic, it helps for you to understand the basic concepts like loops, like variables, and other concept that helps you to give you an advantage of programming. Let's start. So today we are coming to talk about the interface, QBasic interface, the program. We also talk about the data types, what they are, the types of data in QBasic. We'll look at the what variables are, and we'll also try and open our eyes to some commands like CLS and end, and some statements like input and print statement, and the others. This is the QBasic interface. The slides will be in the description below. You can get a copy by clicking the designated link so that you can download the slides. But what I won't take much of your time. We'll use less amount of time to talk about the interface because the interface is what you see when you open the program. We also have the the labeling, the name of the current program that is entitled per the interface. Currently, the interface shown has the name of the program is untitled because we've not saved the program, and we also have the status bar. We have the debugger or the command that immediately executes a command. We also have the current line on the status bar. We have the status of caps lock and number lock. We have the menus. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 menus. So this and the help is 8 in addition. So this is the interface of the QBasic. We will talk briefly about each part. We will not use so much time to deliberate on each part, but what we've seen or what is on the screen talks about it all. It's self-explanatory. Each part has a unique identification. The coding area or the current program is there where we put the codes there, and the menus, the status bar, and the others. So that is it. Let's move on. So we've talked about the coding area. That is the area that displays our codes, the menu bar, and the menus like file, edit, the view, the search, the debug, run options, and the help. These are the menus, and under each menu, when you click on each menu, you'll be presented with some options, and that is how they are. So each menu has options. So the menus, all of them are functional. They they perform some specific rules. For instance for instance the run for instance the run menu helps us to run our code that we've typed or we've displayed on the coding area. And QBasic is a program, and it is a program when you first of all, when you open the program, that is the IDE or the QBasic editor, at first or initially, it will not be saved. What you have to do is that you have to save it. Save it with your preferred name on the file menu. That is the first thing, or the one of the good practices of programming. You save your file, you save your program. Status but I've said as part of the a list of some itinerary like the caps lock and the number lock status. It displays all of these things, plus it displays the run key and other essential parts of the interface. That is the bottom of the screen. That is the status bar. The current line is the line where you will be putting your code, or where your code will be whilst you are typing. That is the current line. And the current column is on the right side of the status bar and is the current column of the cursor, and is displayed immediately after the current line. So that is it. These are the two things. So we also have the data types. Visual Basic and QBasic are all types of basic programming language. But for the purposes of today's lesson, we are talking about QBasic. So this is a combination of Visual Basic and QBasic data types. All these are essential data types. You realize that in QBasic, we will take out some of these, a few of these data types, not all of them, so that we will utilize them as we move forward. So let's talk about some of them. Let's list them. Let's mention them. We have data types like Boolean, currency, integer, single, string, user defined, byte, dates, long, double, object, and variant. So the data types in QBasic, we can make use of 4 of the data types that we listed earlier. That is 5, rather 5. You have integer, you have long, single, double, string. These are the data types used in QBasic. Other data types are relevant, but they are not of use at that much in QBasic. So this is the 5 data types that are mostly used in QBasic. The integer is used, the long data type is used, the single data type is used, the double data type, and the string data type. And we have memory allocations for each character or each number. For an integer is a number, so each number has every number. When you type a digit like 2 inside the memory of the computers, 2 bytes will be allocated. That is the memory size for each number. If it's a string, it also has a memory location. If it's a single data type, it also have a memory location or memory capacity or size. We also have the ranges of values you can put here inside each data type. The link to the slides will be given under the description. You can later look at it carefully. We can scrutinize these values or range of values so that you have a deeper understanding of it. We also have variables. Variables are names used in programming. Every programming language, variables is an essential part of programming. It is names we create, or they are names used to represent values in programs, especially QBasic. There are 2 types, numeric and string. The numeric is the number, and the string is a character. That is an alphabet or a text. Also, a variable can be anything. It can be a number, it can be a string, it can be a record, it can be anything. And in programming, one unique thing about these variable is that they are referred to as objects. That is, they are referred to as entities, things that were not there, but it has been brought to life by the ideas or by the doings of the programmer or by the orchestrator. So once you are creating a program, definitely you talk about certain things, and those things that you talk about is those things that you have to create. And and that's the core essence of variables. We need variables so that our program makes sense. They will have meaning. So how do we write variable names, or how do we create them? The first characters should be a letter, and they should not contain space. There should not be space. Everything must be together. Even if it's a two-part word, you have to bring them together. You have ways which we will discuss later. So, and a variable in QBasic can contain or may contain 40 characters. Also, the characters allowed in the variable name are letters, numbers. You can use a period, and also at the end of it all, you can let us know the type declaration. That is, you let us know the data type by bringing a type declaration character, which has been listed there here. So let's continue. So example of a variable is time log, which is 8. A time and log are two different words, but since we are saying that a variable should not contain space, ideally, that is the idea. Someone will say there should have been space, because but that is not the case, because we are saying that even though the variable is a two-part word, but since we are putting it out there in the name of a variable, it must be together. So we realize that in at the start of the log, there's a capital letter. This type of lettering or writing, we call it camel case, whereby we start a new word inside a variable with a capital letter. And we have reserved words in QBasic. There are commands that are unique. You can't use them as variables. You cannot, like, example is print keyword. You cannot. Let's continue. So let's talk about the how we can declare variables in the name of a data type. How we can mention a variable such that it will have an assigned data type, for instance, a string or an integer. So we will talk about two of these ways of declaring variable: as and the type declaration. We use, for the first part, that is the as declaration type, we make use of the as keyword. So this is the syntax: declare variable name as type. So in place of declare, you can use words like dim, common, random. The random is for arrays, shared, or static. And in place of the type, that is the data type. The declare is a way of defining what the variable is. So that is, these are the key words. And the type is the data type is the type we've talked about earlier on: the integer, the long, the single. And the variable name is the name that you've decided to give the variable, which is optional. It's up to you what you've decided. So as data type, these are examples: dim a as long, dim x as single, and that, and so forth and so on. So let's continue. We also have the type declaration, which helps us. This is the type declaration is a shorter version of the as declaration, because the type declaration is not that chunky. you just have to append, you add one of these uh, suffixes that we have here at the end of the variable name, then that is it. So let's look at an example. So we have an example here, the dollar sign sales report, which is in quotation marks, which says that it is a string. So the type of suffix here, it is a suffix used to assign or reference a string data type, because when we come back here, the last suffix points to the string. So whenever you see a suffix which is like a dollar sign at the end of the variable name, it is talking about a string. So it means that the variable contains values which are strings. That is it. So we have example there. These are all variable which are a, but for each of these, the types are different. First one, the types, this variable can only accept integers, that is in the name of integers. So when you assign a value which is not an integer, you have issues. So commands. Let's talk about the first command, CLS. CLS, it erases the output screen, it clears the way, it gives us a clean slate, a clean screen for putting our codes there. We also have the input command, also gives us, or it reads our input from the keyboard. So whenever you use an input statement, what it does is that it gives you the power to input text, and it also stores it in a list of variables. So this is the syntax, and the arguments inside the syntax are explained below. The input, just as I've said, the entered data is assigned to the variables in the variable list. For the syntax, so the print is for outputting data on the screen, and it's simple. If you look at other languages, you realize that the print keyword for other languages like JavaScript, the keyword for printing is console.log, and that is how it is. Every program language has a way of outputting data, saying something out loud. So for QBasic, it is print, and the end is also a keyword for putting an end or ending your QBasic program. It's optional. Programs currently in QBasic, most of them are not being utilized. And the end keyword is not utilized, but that doesn't mean that it will not work. It will work. So you can opt, but the best practice is that you have to bring the end keyword, so that it makes you follow the syntax, or it makes your work, you conform to the best practices, and it makes your work tidy and neat. Hello viewers, if you've gotten to this point, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. God bless you. I hope to see you another time. Please, if you like what you saw, you can give me a comment, criticize what I've done, make my work be of importance, tell me where I should head towards. Later on, I will upload another video which will take us through the practical